Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Fully Loaded Wrestling. It is such a damn good time to be back. We are emanating live from the Fort Worth Convention Center Arena here in Fort Worth, Texas, and boy oh boy, do we have a stacked card here for you this evening. To start us off, we have Megan Suzuki, our FLW Women's World Champion, taking on Julia Santos. And amongst that, we have several more debuts. We have Jack Bradford, Macy Rage, Cassandra Blade, and many more. But as what I can understand, we have a word from Julia Santos.
Well, guess you can say we're back. It's good to see FLW coming back after a long hiatus. I'm usually not a sentimental individual, but without FLW, I would never have come out of retirement and couldn't finish my career how I want to finish it. So I want to personally thank FLW for taking a chance on me. However, I can't say the same to all of you disgusting peasants. Last time you all saw me, you saw me expose the fraud known as Amber Young. See, I made that bitch tap out to prove a point. Guess since we're back on the air, time to finally reveal why I did what I did. To put it simply, it wasn't anything personal. I attacked you, Amber, because, quite frankly, I'm tired of these new generation wrestlers making a mockery of this sport. Amber is only part of the problem. And folks, you all saw firsthand what happens when you put a cosplay MMA fighter against someone who did MMA for real. And the results shouldn't be shocking now, should it? You don't get my respect, Amber. You never will. You're now irrelevant to me. So, what's next? Megan Suzuki. Looks like later tonight, I finally got my match against you for that women's championship belt. The self-proclaimed Joshi Punk versus the Nightmare. And tonight, mite iru benshu ni misetsukete yaru yo. Omae ga tanaru hatari ni sugenai de koto onna. Shin no senshi to wa nani ga. Soshite akumu to wa nani no ka. Konya sono kote o shiru koto ni naru. See you tonight, Suzuki. And keep that belt warm for me. Oyasumi.
Well, we're finally back here. Feels good, doesn't it, champ?
It does. The fans are truly in for a treat tonight.
That's for sure. Say, big bro, that's a real shiny title you got there. Would be a shame if someone were to take it from you.
Sis, don't even think about it.
What? I didn't say anything. Yet.
No, you see, that right there. I know what that gleam in your eye is. You're up to something, aren't you?
I mean, I'm just saying it would suck if, if you got shown up by your little sister is all.
Lexi, I'm not fighting you.
Because you'll know you lose.
Sis, that's not true and you know it.
How do you know it's not true?
Because we've been training together for a long time. I know how you stack up.
Why don't you prove it then?
Because I don't want to possibly embarrass you in front of everyone.
Pussy.
Lexi, I swear to God, I will knock your ass out. I don't care if you're my sister or a girl.
It's settled then. I'll see you out there tonight.
Wait, that's not... See you out there.
Well, That was a lot to take in all at once, but we are getting started with our opening contest this evening. It is Megan Suzuki taking on Julia Santos in our first match back from our very long hiatus. Now, I do need to clarify, this is not for a shot. This is not for the title. This is for a shot at the title. This is technically an eliminator challenge. Julia Santos took her shot, and we are going to see if it sticks, if it lands. And ladies and gentlemen, I am getting word that Alexis Danvers is going to get what she wants. It is going to be Zeke Salizer, our FLW World Heavyweight Champion, taking on Alexis Danvers in the main event of our show this evening. So that's brother versus sister. They know each other all too well. It's going to be interesting to see how that stacks up. But before we can get there, we have to get through this match. We have, again, Megan Suzuki going up against Julia Santos. Julia Santos, as you heard, she had previously tapped out Amber Young in our last show. So we'll just have to see if she can make the Joshi Punk do the same. And here she is, ladies and gentlemen. Julia Santos making her entrance on the first match back for FLW. And not to mention, Megan Suzuki on the last show of FLW won the Women's World Champion. She is currently our inaugural Women's World Champion and currently reigning, as you can see. Julia, no love lost from the crowd here after those harsh words from Julia Santos earlier this evening. Julia Santos looks laser focused. She wants nothing more than to defeat the champion and earn a shot at the Women's World Championship on the first show back. We have Megan Suzuki and we have Julia Santos. Let's get this started. Ring the bell. And Julia already on the offensive here. And Julia telling Megan to get up. Julia not going to let this chance go to waste. And Megan now, Julia may have cost herself a shot by having gone into the wrong turnbuckle, but now it's going back and forth, and Julia right back into the upper hand here. Julia out to the apron. What's she thinking of here? And a springboard knee drop. And Julia calling Megan to her feet. Went for a huge knee, but Megan sidestepped it, and Megan just shoving her into the corner and hits a huge European uppercut to Julia Santos. And Julia now fighting her way out of that corner. If Julia wants to get a shot at the title, she needs to keep the pressure on Megan, but Megan is not going to go lightly. She's not going to be taken down lightly. Megan showing Julia that she's not going to be taken lightly. She is as serious as any of the competitors here in FLW. Megan Suzuki getting a crowd fired up here this evening. And now putting the pressure on Julia Santos, showing Julia why exactly she is the Women's World Champion here. Julia going for a pin now, cradle. Oh, most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, the roll-up. And a special Kamigoye, it looked like. And a huge crossbody from the outside, flattening Megan Suzuki. And Julia trying to keep the pressure on, but Megan not allowing it, but Julia sidestepping that drop kick from Megan Suzuki. And Julia going for a springboard. It looked like she was going for a springboard poison Rana, but Megan had that scouted. Ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder, we are here in Fort Worth, Texas, at the Fort Worth Convention Center Arena. And this is just the first of 8 matches here this evening. Next up, we have Jessica Harper taking on the debuting Macy Rage. And then later on this evening, we have 2 debuts in the same match. We have Spencer West taking on Mason Fatal. And all that and more coming up later this evening. Right now, Julia calling Megan to her feet and hit the Meteora, massive Meteora. And a huge discus pump kick from Julia flattens Megan, but Megan right up to her feet. Going for the grapple. Neither woman can get an upper hand in that grappling situation, but again, just Megan just stopping Julia with those strikes. And Julia, what she's looking for here. Oh man, just dropping Megan on her back. And lose this press. Ladies and gentlemen, again, this is for a shot at the Women's World Championship. If Julia Santos can manage to defeat Megan Suzuki, she punches her ticket for an eventual title match. And Julia just matching strikes with Megan Suzuki here. Both women are dangerous strikers. And just a brutal kick to the head by Julia. 1, 2, and Megan kicks out at 2. Went for looked like a leg drop, but it gets met with the drop kick, a standing drop kick from Megan Suzuki. And tossing out to the ring. And a moonsault, a springboard moonsault from Megan Suzuki, flattening Julia Santos. Now, Megan on the barricade here, goes for Meteora. Lands flush. And a stomp to the gut from Megan Suzuki. Julia Santos is slowing down a bit here, almost getting thrown into the stairs. Ladies and gentlemen, as a reminder, for those of you who were not here before, FLW has a count out of 20. Our general manager decided to keep it 20 as she does not like having count out losses, count out victories. Referee at a count of 11, and Megan going back into the ring by Julia. Julia, what she's looking for here, springboard, went for a springboard. Megan sidestepped it into a grapple, shoving her to the ropes, and just being tossed to the outside by Julia Santos. Julia going to the outside. And I believe Megan Suzuki is bleeding now. Julia taking first blood in this situation. Referee at a count of 6 here. And a knee to the face of Julia Santos. Megan throwing Julia back into the ring. Going to the top rope here. What's Megan looking for here? And just a huge diving move. And Julia kicks out at 1, but you can see the blood starting to form on Megan Suzuki's head. And the strikes, the knee strikes, and the drop kick not helping Megan's pitch whatsoever. And the springboard moonsault from Julia Santos. Megan fighting her way out of Julia's hold here. And once again, a huge discus pump kick from Julia Santos. Megan throwing her into ropes, went for a drop kick, but Julia swings it back into her favor and just punches to the gut, followed by suplex. Megan may be in trouble here this evening, folks. But Megan, that driver, that electric chair driver, and once again going blow for blow with Julia Santos with those strikes. And Julia trying to swing this back into her favor here. But Megan already aware and conscious. And a huge tilt-whirl DDT. Megan Suzuki on the top rope, looking to fly once again. Again, getting the crowd hyped up is Megan Suzuki. She knows that she needs to be a fighting champion. She's worked hard to get to this moment. Going for the cover here. 1, 2, and Julia Santos kicks out at 2. And Megan just adding a bit of insult to injury and earning her own bit of blood. Busting open Julia Santos here this evening, folks. And once again, hitting that dive off the top rope, getting the crowd hyped up even more. She feels the match going in her favor right now. And just throwing her into the ground. That's a bit of a dirty tactic, but do whatever you can to win. And with that, Julia's back in control with the ground and pound. Julia bringing Megan Suzuki up to her knees. And went for that drop kick, but Megan rolled out of the way. Megan had that scouted. And again, the strikes from Megan Suzuki. Going pinfall for pinfall. Megan in trouble here from Julia Santos. Julia Santos for the cover. 1, 2. Julia Santos bringing it to the champion. And it looks like we are about to have a hockey fight on our hands, folks. And hockey fight that Megan Suzuki wins. And a huge suplex. And now, once again, that driver planting Julia Santos 2, and Julia kicks out at 2. The crowd calling for one more time. Went for that spin kick in the corner, but Julia had that scouted. Julia calling her up to her feet, and a huge meteor from the top rope. Ladies and gentlemen, there is blood covering the mat, and Julia, that huge kick, blows to the head and got that submission in. It doesn't look like she has it that tight in. It's probably because of the blood. Julia has to let go. And Julia going for that, went for a kick, but Megan Suzuki had that scouted, not letting that happen again. It's desperation time for these two, ladies and gentlemen. Both are wanting to win. Like I said, Megan Suzuki, she's the women's champion. She would love nothing more than to win her first match as women's world champion. But Julia Santos, she wants that title. She wants a shot at that title. And her only way of doing so right now is to beat Megan Suzuki in this match. And Megan Suzuki now back to her feet. Julia Santos, she got Julia on the ropes literally. And a huge kick from Julia Santos, stopping Megan in her tracks. And Megan Suzuki in trouble again. And a huge kick. Going for the pin. 1, 2, and Megan Suzuki kicks out at 2. Julia Santos getting on top of Megan Suzuki and just headbutting her senseless. Julia Santos just trying to punish Megan Suzuki. Megan went for that strike exchange again. Megan fighting out of Julia's grasp and went for that kick, but Megan getting that stomp in. Both competitors are down. Both competitors are down. Ladies and gentlemen, what an opening contest to our first match back. And that grapple. Damn. Julia Santos just laying out Megan Suzuki, but Megan getting her wherewithal back. A huge dropkick to the legs. Going for the pin. 1, 2, 3. And Megan Suzuki is your winner, ladies and gentlemen, of the first match back in FLW. It was a hard-fought match for both women. Julia Santos had the champion on the ropes several times in the match, but unfortunately for Julia, Megan Suzuki was just a step ahead. He was just that much better here this evening, showing Julia and the FLW universe just why she is the FLW Women's World Champion here this evening. As we see the replays here, 1, 2, 3, and here's your winner, ladies and gentlemen, and not without a fight, Megan Suzuki. The scars of war showing on her body. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen, because our next match, Jessica Harper versus the debuting Macy Rage.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to an exclusive interview with EWL's own J.K. Loudon.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me in this interview, but I want to keep things a little bit short and sweet.
Well, in the likes of short and sweet, there are current rumours about you signing to FLW. So do you have any comments to the company and their talent?
Well, not sure how you've been really keeping up with my resume in terms of me signing to multiple companies, but yes, I do have a few things I want to get off my chest towards all the talents, the general managers, and the owners that are within FLW. So if you would to be so kind, I will go ahead and take this microphone off your hands while you can pretty much go behind and hold the camera up straight while I'm speaking. Yes, thank you. Now, for everyone in FLW, allow me to make myself very clear. The reason why I signed to the company in the first place was for two reasons. Number one was to reinvent, reestablish, and reclaim something that should have been mine multiple years ago. Now, granted, I never been in FLW until this very point, but that is the story for another day. The point is, I came here to annihilate damn near everyone within the roster. And if people try to get in my way, then good luck, because you are going to need it. So everyone at FLW, or let alone FLW fans, I'll see you guys in the ring soon, because I'm ready to fuck some shit up. And cut!
Every other Wednesday night, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern, only on youtube.com/crazyjokesuk. TFF, where pro wrestling lives.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and we heard from one of our newest signees here at FLW, J.K. Loudon. And then not only that, we also had a word from our friends over at the Top 5 Federation, who just recently had their Wrestle Summit pay-per-view. Congratulations to them on the success of that pay-per-view. But let's not forget why we're here this evening. We have our next match. We have Jessica Harper taking on the debuting Macy Rage here this evening. Jessica Harper on our last show faced a bit of a heartbreak in a losing effort against Samantha Salizer in a 2 out of 3 falls match. You can more than likely tell she is on a mission here this evening. She wants nothing more than to rectify that loss and get a win on the first show back of FLW this evening. And you can believe she will stop at nothing to get that win. Jessica Harper set to take on a new debut here this evening. This is Macy Rage. Macy Rage here. And with her is Alexis Danvers. For those of you who don't know, Macy Rage and Alexis Danvers have been dating for quite some time now. Macy on a mission here this evening. The daughter of Jane Rage and Adam Rage. The Demon Princess, as some call her, or Danvers, who is the punk rock queen, calls her the Punk Princess, her Punk Princess. And you can believe that Macy is on a mission to win her first match here in FLW, win her debut here. Jessica Harper in one corner, Macy Rage in the other, with Alexis Danvers in her corner. And Jessica already on the offensive here. She has a lot of pent-up aggression from her last match. From her last match and her last loss. Better believe she's wanting to take it all out on the competitors here in FLW, and she's not letting Macy get an ounce of attacking, but Macy got her knees up on that crossbody, but Jessica is already back on the offensive. Jessica now, come on, Jessica. Putting her knee to Macy's throat here. And just Macy fighting her way out of Jessica's grasp, kneeing her in the face. And what do we got here? We got a head scissors going on there. And Jessica trying to fight back. But Macy fighting back into this and going for a pin here. Not even a one. Jessica already kicked out. And Jessica right back into the offensive here with a huge body drop there. Body slam. Jessica just disrespecting Macy Rage. Having no respect for the Punk Princess, for the Demon Princess. Macy trying to get back on the offensive here, with Jessica taking it right back, and a boot to the face of Jessica Harper to the side of the head. And Macy up to the top rope, calling up her opponent, and a huge double axe handle from the top turnbuckle. And Jessica now fighting her way back into this match here. Clothesline, another clothesline. And tripping Macy up. And Danvers, you can see Danvers on the outside of the ring, encouraging Macy to just get back up and keep fighting here. And Macy missing that drop kick there. Macy with the crossface now. Macy having that crossface locked in, but Jessica Harper fighting her way out of it. And Macy now in trouble with Jessica Harper. Jessica going to the middle rope here, calling Macy up to her feet. And just a huge crossbody. Went for that elbow drop, but missed. Macy moved out of the way. And just raking the back of Macy's body. And a huge suplex from Jessica. One. And Macy kicks out at one. And Jessica back on top here. And Jessica now. What's she looking for here? And a huge DDT and stunner between the ropes. And a huge enziguri to Jessica Harper. And Macy throwing Jessica back into the ring. Macy wants a definitive win here. She wants to punish Jessica. Jessica fighting her way back out of that choke slam. And Macy, once again, going for that roll-up pin. One. Jessica fighting out. Getting the upper hand back. Macy just... Jessica in trouble now from Macy Rage. And surprise roll-up from Jessica, one. And Macy kicks out at one. Jessica trying to get back into the dominant swing of things here with a huge swing neck breaker to Macy Rage. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to give you a reminder that we have so much more action to come here later this evening. Next up, we have Jack Bradford making his debut against Alan Montoya, formerly Alan Wagner. But his name is now Alan Montoya. And then not only that, we have the debut of both Evie Mack and Gav Ashton taking each other on. And Macy punishing Jessica on the outside here. And let's not forget the newly announced match of Alexis Ambrose taking on our world champion, Zeke Salizer. And the two jockeying for the top spot here. You gotta wonder if Alexis Danvers being out here is throwing either one of them out for a loop. Jessica up to the top rope. And Macy just moving out of the way. And back into the ring, both women. And a huge DDT, impaler DDT. 1, 2, and Jessica kicks out at 2. You gotta wonder, is Alexis Danvers a distraction for either of these women here? And twist of fate from Macy. 1, 2, and Jessica still kicks out. You can see Macy getting frustrated here this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Macy picking Jessica up here. Went for that discus pump kick, but Macy had that scouted. And whatever Macy went for, Jessica had that scouted. And a huge spine buster from Jessica Harper. And Jessica, what's she looking for here? Went for a running knee, probably a Rivaderci, but Macy had that scouted. Jessica, huge code breaker from the middle rope there. Macy trying to keep the upper hand here. You can see Danvers watching on, probably a bit concerned. And Macy just taking control of Jessica, but Jessica getting back to her feet, elbow to the face. And Jessica missing with that drop kick there, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who missed, oh my goodness. Jessica Harper hit that punt, that discus pump kick, busting open Macy Rage, and hit that Rivaderci knee. This has got to be it. 1, 2, and Macy kicks out. And Jessica, what's she doing? Face first into the corner. But Macy not happy about that. But Jessica having pulled first blood and going into the pin. 1, 2. Oh, it looks like that was that the 2? Either way, Jessica's in trouble now. And a body slam from Macy Rage. And what's she thinking? Middle rope, code red. 1, 2, not even a 1, not even a 2. What the hell is Jessica made of this evening, ladies and gentlemen? And Macy fighting her way back up. And just dropping her on the rope there. And DDT to the leg of Jessica Harper. You can't stand, you can't run. And once again, that Impaler DDT going for the pin here. 1, 2, and Jessica once again kicks out. You gotta wonder what's going through Macy's head. She's probably really frustrated that she hasn't been able to put Jessica away yet. And Jessica just slamming Macy into the mat face first. You can tell she is frustrated. She is not happy. She is angry. And Jessica going to the top rope here. And Jessica missing the mark and Macy back on top. And Jessica being thrown to the corner. Macy, what's she thinking here? Went for that body slam again, but Jessica moved out of the way. But now And Jessica just punching the eyes into a bulldog. And Jessica, what's she thinking of here? Hitting the ropes. Went for the neck snap, but Macy moved out of the way. And Jessica fighting her way out of Macy's grip. Macy rolling out of the way. And hitting that tilt-a-whirl armbar again. Getting thrown into the corner. Went for an uppercut, but Jessica had different plans. And Macy fighting out of Jessica's grip. And a huge spin kick. That's got to be lights out. 1, 2, 3. Macy Rage wins in her FLW debut. Hard-fought match from both women here this evening in Fort Worth, but unfortunately, Jessica Harper just did not have enough in the tank for the Demon Princess, for the Punk Princess. She just did not have enough in the tank to overcome Macy Rage. The entire Rage family is nothing to scoff at, ladies and gentlemen. But Macy Rage just proved it. Ladies and gentlemen, here's a winner. And again, not without hardship. Macy Rage winning in her debut. You gotta know that Dan Reeves is watching her from the outside, proud of Macy for winning her debut.
Are you ready for the biggest E-Fed tournament? The biggest tournament of all the times. Over 200 of the greatest warriors will enter. But who will reach for the stars?
Madison, 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 M-A-D-I-S-O-N, Madison, M-A-D-I-S-O-N, Madison, 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 Madison,
Nomi Matsumoto, B. Barrett, Madison Reyes,
Madison, 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 M-A-D-I-S-O-N, M-A-D-I-S-O-N, Madison, 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 Madison.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to FLW. Right now we have the return of Alan Montoya. And now, forgive me because this is still a new change for me. If I mess up and say Wagner, I do apologize way in advance. But here comes Alan Montoya. Unfortunately, in his last bout here in FLW, he saw him lose to Wade Ilson. But he's here looking to redeem himself this evening, ladies and gentlemen. And it's going to be easier said than done because, ladies and gentlemen, his opponent here tonight is none other than Jack Bradford. There you see him, Alan Wagner. And here we are. Here we have Jack Bradford making his debut here in FLW in Fort Worth, Texas. And you can see near their fans have no love lost towards Jack Bradford. And Jack showing that he does not care. Jack Bradford showing that he does not care even for FLW's pyro budget. Jack Bradford making his way into the ring here. Jack Bradford would love nothing more than to crush Alan Montoya's hopes and dreams of a win here tonight on the comeback show of FLW. Jack Bradford taking his time, making the FLW universe, making Fort Worth soak in his presence here this evening. And here we go. We have Alan Montoya, Jack Bradford. Jack Bradford, not a whole lot of people actually like him because Jack Bradford is part of the Justice Kill Squad, the JKS, along with Kyle Noble. And the two walking up, jockeying for position. And back body drop from Jack Bradford here. But the JKS have run roughshod over the Empower roster as of late. And not to mention, Jack Bradford has a personal vendetta with the group called LGBTKO that consists of Selena Adams, Alexis Danvers, Brandon Dicey's, Nico Raiden, and Tommy Hazard, and formerly of Mirabel Duarte, or not formally, but they have distanced themselves. Either way, Jack Bradford has made it one of his missions to take out LGBTKO. Alan Montoya here taking the fight to Jack Bradford. Jack now taking the fight back to Montoya. And the crowd showing Montoya just what they think of him. And Allen reversing that rebound clothesline into a Spanish fly. And Allen flying on his own right, going into the cover. 1, 2, and Jack kicks out at 2. And Allen now just stomping away on Jack Bradford. And a huge splash from Allen Montoya here this evening from the top rope. Went for the top rope leg drop, but Bradford moved out of the way. But Montoya back in the driver's seat, back body drop again. And a huge spine buster to Jack Bradford. Montoya is rolling here this evening. Like I said, his last match here in FLW, he unfortunately lost to Wade Ilson. So Allen is looking to rectify that loss here this evening. But Jack Bradford, again, would love nothing more than to spoil that, to spoil that hope and dream. And Jack, now with the huge spear to Allen Montoya. And now Allen with the chop to Jack Bradford. Jack not taking to that kindly, not taking kindly to that. Now just dropping him over his knee like he's Bane and Allen's Batman. Jack calling him to his feet. But Allen fighting out of it, elbowing the face of Jack Bradford. Now Jack Bradford in trouble here. Decapitator on the top rope. And that huge splash once again from the top rope. Allen now hitting a huge leg drop from the top rope. Going for the pin here. 1, 2, and Jack Bradford kicks out at 2. And Allen now calling Jack up to his feet. And Jack in trouble against the ropes literally. But Jack dumps Allen to the outside. Ref starts the count, going back to the outside, and Allen giving Jack a taste of his own medicine, but Jack back up to his feet here. Jack going to the top here. And Allen simply moving out of the way of that elbow. But Jack here trying to turn him into the Boston Crab. But Allen fighting his way out of that. Now Allen trying to get the upper hand, but Jack Bradford fighting his way out. Went for a springboard and hits that weird clothesline. And Jack Bradford hitting a springboard leg drop from the ropes. I never would have taken Jack Bradford as much of a high flyer as I'm seeing here this evening. And Allen Montoya delivering some payback in the form of his own leg drop. And Allen rolling out of the way of Jack Bradford. And Jack Bradford running out of the way. Montoya in trouble now. What's Jack thinking here? Oh, Jack reversed into an Alabama slam from Montoya, from Allen Montoya. And Allen now, huge crossbody from the outside of the ring, from the apron. And now Allen went for something, but Jack had it scouted in a springboard clothesline from Jack Bradford. Jack Bradford is thoroughly surprising me here this evening, ladies and gentlemen. And Jack now with a huge closed suplex there. And just being tossed around by Jack Bradford. Jack calling him up to his feet. Kick to the gut. And a huge power bomb, stacking Montoya up. 1, 2, just a 1. Jack Bradford not too happy with that, as you can see. And Jack fighting his way back out and hitting the Rough Rider on Jack Bradford, and I think Jack is actually bleeding a bit. And Allen now in the driver's seat here, and a huge DDT from the top rope. 1, 2, and Jack Bradford kicks out at 2. And Allen Montoya calling Jack to his feet, and Jack fighting his way out. Montoya went for a panic clothesline, but that could have just cost him dearly. Jack now deciding what to do with Allen here, but that cost him the control, and now Jack Bradford picking up Montoya here. And a huge power bomb. And a huge clothesline to the back of Allen Montoya. And Jack Bradford is calling for something here. Went for a spear, it looks like, but Montoya had that scouted with a knee to the face of to Jack Bradford. And Jack Bradford now in trouble here as Allen Montoya kicks him in the gut, but Jack Bradford with a huge hurricanrana and punching the face of Allen Montoya here. And Jack Bradford calling Montoya to his feet. Huge drop kick from Jack Bradford to Montoya here this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere because we still have plenty of action coming up. We have Evie Mack taking on Gav Ashton here a bit later. We have the debuting Spencer West taking on the debuting Mason Fatal. And Carnage. Carnage is returning to FLW and will be in action later on this evening. But not only that, we have Zeke Salizer, our world champion, taking on Alexis Danvers, his younger sister. And we will also hear from Deontay Wilde and Mike Magnum Maxwell. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. And a huge cutter from Jack Bradford and a huge leg drop. And Jack Bradford just headbutting Allen Montoya. Allen may be in trouble here. And Jack lifting up for a powerbomb and stacks him up. 1, 2, and Allen Montoya kicks out. And Jack's not happy about that. And Montoya fighting his way back into this match. And Montoya calling him up to his feet. Went for a dive but missed it. And once again, getting headbutted by Jack Bradford here this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Bradford going for something, but Montoya kicking the knee and going for a takedown, just pounding Jack Bradford's face. Bradford pulling himself up with the ropes, moved out of the way. And Jack trying to figure out what he needs to do to put Montoya away here this evening. And a huge knee to the head. And up to the middle rope, a leg drop to Alan Montoya. And Bradford's calling him up. Lifting Montoya up, dropping him on the ropes, neck first. And Jack Bradford just tossing Montoya to the side. Once again, going for that leg drop and hitting it flush. Going for the pin here. 1, 2, 3. Jack Bradford is your winner here, ladies and gentlemen. Jack Bradford wins his debut here in FLW here in Fort Worth, Texas tonight on the first show back. It was a hard-fought match from Alan Montoya, but Jack Bradford was just much more ruthless than what Alan probably expected. As we take a look at the replays here. There were several moments where Jack Bradford could have possibly had it, but Alan Montoya just had a bit more in the tank. But here it was after the leg drop. 1, 2, 3. Jack Bradford took the victory from Alan Montoya. And the crowd is not happy about the result of this match here. The crowd letting Jack know exactly how they feel about him. And just, ladies and gentlemen, this has been such a great night so far. Great night full of mat action. And we've still got a lot more, but, Jack's grabbing him.
FLW, come on, tell me you feel what I feel. That energy, that electricity. FLW is back, and it is back for good. And let me tell you, there is no place I would rather be than right here in the middle of the ring to usher in this revival, this new era. But I would be remiss if I didn't say that I had my eyes on a little someone, the FLW World Championship. You see where it sits now with our current champion. Things are a little rough, a little rocky. I just don't think that Mr. Salizer has what it takes to elevate this company. And that's what a world champ should do. A world champ should take these opportunities and skyrocket. But from where I'm sitting, I'm seeing a straight plane of progression. And that's not a bad thing, but that just means that when our time comes, Mr. Salizer, I will be there. Now, it's not going to be anytime soon, I can promise you that. But while you're busy playing Family Feud in the main event with your little sister, I'm going to be watching. I'm going to be scoping out every move that you pull. And I'm going to take an even closer look at your sister and see just how she's able to counter you. Because nobody knows you better than your own blood. And once I've analyzed that match 100 times through, I'll analyze your next defense. And the next. And the next. And once I am sure with 101% certainty that I have your number, I am coming straight for you. And I'm not going to tell you again. I'm not going to keep reminding you. I'm just going to let this fester in your head. I am coming. And when I do, you stand no chance. Because I am watching. I am always watching. I am always studying and training my brain. Because this is my last year. And I am not going to watch a hot new company fizzle out. Because their world champion just doesn't have the gusto that makes him a champion. So Salizer, good luck tonight, really. I will be watching. And for the rest of the talent and the fans and the production team, welcome back to FLW and enjoy it while you can, because soon I'm taking over, and when I do, things are changing around here for better.
Strong words from Jack Bradford here, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, hello. You're just in time for one of my breakfast hacks. And what do we have here? A brand new box of cereal. And what's inside? A prize. Let's try a little experiment, shall we?
Get your hand out of that box! How many times do I have to tell you? You can't open a box without finishing the last box. Do you think money grows on trees? Do I have to talk
Sounds
until I'm blue in
familiar.
the face? Do you know how lucky you are to even have cereal? Why, when I was your age, we ate wooden rocks. Hey, I'm late for work. Remember, keep your filthy mitts out of that cereal box.
So, when you're faced with this problem, do what I do. First, get yourself a bowl, make sure it's a big bowl, and pour all the cereal in the bowl. Yes! Can hardly wait to see what it is! Joy! It's a limited edition breakfast cereal cheese bowl caddy! Now, boys and girls, pour the cereal back into the box, close the lid, and presto! It's as good as new. Then, you put it away and no one will ever know. Join us again for more Terran breakfast tips. Bye for now.
Well, strong words from Jack Bradford earlier. Oh, wait, what the? That's Sylvia Calvert-Lewin. Why is she attacking Cassandra Blade? She has a match. What the hell? What the hell? Someone get her out of here. Cassandra Blade has a match. Literally here in a few seconds. There's no way she can compete now. What? What? Oh my god. Cassandra is still competing? Oh my god. She was just attacked backstage by Sylvia Calvert-Lewin. And she's still going to take on Dakota Wheeler. Well, I've got to admire the heart on her, but sheesh. Okay, well, I guess we're doing this. Cassandra Blade is making her debut here this evening against Dakota Wheeler. But unfortunately, she's not going to be 100%. Because as we all just saw, she was just attacked backstage by Sylvia Calvert-Lewin. What was the meaning of this attack? And here she is, Dakota Wheeler. Last time we saw her, well, she kicked the living daylights out of Alexis Danvers. Rumor has it that it's water under the bridge between them. That's the rumor. But right now we're going to see if Cassandra can hold her own despite what just happened. And Cassandra already taking the fight to Dakota Wheeler here. Trying her best to just stay in the match, trying not to let the attack that she just went through hinder her in any sort of way. And a huge rolling drop kick from the apron, but Dakota fighting her way back up. And a huge kick to the gut and a kick to the back. Huge moonsault from Cassandra Blade, and the way they landed cannot have been helpful with the attack that they just suffered. That she just suffered. Dakota getting her bearings back. Dakota now. Dakota, what's she looking for here? Up at the top rope. And walking the ropes. Went for a huge drop kick, but Cassandra Blade moving out of the way and hitting a huge move of her own. Dakota now taking the fight back to Cassandra here. And now Dakota, what's she looking for here? Thinking about Cassandra fighting her way out of Dakota's grip. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who don't know, Cassandra Blade has been through quite a lot in her life. Protected her brothers from a group of people who were not so savory, to say the least. But in doing so, lost her voice. And a huge cutter from the top rope. 1, 2, and Dakota kicks out at 2. Cassandra Blade, despite being the victim of an attack from Sylvia Calvert-Lewin, is holding her own quite well here in FLW. And now Dakota just dropping her. And Dakota hitting that RKO. 1, 2, and Cassandra kicks out. And now 1, 2, oh, not even a 2, just a 1. Now, Dakota once again walking into the ropes and getting that drop kick this time. And a huge kick to Dakota Wheeler. Then Dakota Wheeler very recently almost blew up her leg in Pro Wrestling, the Premier Wrestling Network's New Year's Revolution pay-per-view in her last match there. We can, with that being said, I think we can all agree that it's no wonder that Dakota beat Danvers all that time ago. Cassandra with that body drop and now calling Dakota up to her feet, went for that cutter again, but Dakota had it scouted. Dakota just out of reach for that drop kick and a huge headbutt, busting open Cassandra again. 1, 2, and Cassandra kicks out at 2. Dakota opening that wound that Sylvia Calvert-Lewin opened earlier, and a huge DDT. And Dakota, what's she thinking here? And a huge elbow drop to Sylvia Calvert-Lewin. Ladies and gentlemen, just as a reminder, don't go anywhere. We still have a few debuts here, ladies and gentlemen. We got Spencer West versus Mason Fatal coming up next as Dakota goes for the pin. 1, 2, and Cassandra kicks out at 2. Following that, we have Evie Mack taking on Gav Ashton in both their debuts here for FLW. And then Carnage will be in action later on this evening in that following match. And the management has kept his opponent a secret. Not even Carnage knows who he's facing. And not to mention, we have our main event, our FLW World Champion Zeke Salizer taking on Alexis Danvers, his younger sister, as Dakota starts getting the upper hand once more with the sling blade to finish all that up. Going for the pin. 1, 2, and Cassandra kicks out at 2. But Cassandra firing herself back up. But Dakota fighting her way with went for a big move, but gets caught with an enziguri from Cassandra Blade. Went for a drop kick. And whatever Cassandra went for, Dakota reversed it with, oh no. And the Arrivederci knee strike. Going for the pin. 1, 2, and Cassandra Blade finding the strength to kick out. There's no doubt the reason why she's called the Silent Heart. And going for that bulldog from the corner. And the twist of fate from Dakota Wheeler. 1, 2, 3. A valiant effort from Cassandra Blade after the attack from Sylvia Calvert-Lewin. A valiant effort, but unfortunately Dakota Wheeler was just too much for her, and the injury sustained from the attack did not help matters at all. 1, 2, as we see the replays here, Dakota went for the Arrivederci knee right here, went for the pin, but it was not enough. The Arrivederci knee here was not enough, but it would be the twist of fate. It would be the twist of fate right here that would seal the deal for Dakota Wheeler for the victory. 1, 2, 3. And ladies and gentlemen, your winner here on the return episode of FLW is Dakota Wheeler. It was a hard-fought match from Cassandra Blade, but unfortunately, Dakota Willer was just too much. Here, ladies and gentlemen.
Say I'm not, but I'm in it over my head. That's when I figured out where it led. Beginning to realize that you put me over the edge. The truth's not rigid, your rules aren't fair. The dark's too vivid, the light's not there. I start to give in, but I can't bear to put it all behind. I run into it blind like two-faced, caught in the middle. Caught in the middle. Too late, counting to zero.
They told you this place, FLW, was built on warriors, fighters, legends in their making. Pero you have never seen anything like me. I am not just another luchador. I am not here to flip, to smile, to entertain. I am here to haunt. My name is El Scorpion, Fantasma. Half shadow, half venom. When I strike, you won't see it coming. Y cuando sientas el dolor, it's already too late. To the FLW universe, I don't need your cheers. I don't want your respect. What I want is your fear. To the locker room in the back, every man who thinks that this is their kingdom. Estoy aquí para destruirlo. I didn't come to fit in. I came to take over. Tick tock. The venom is spreading. Bienvenidos to your nightmare. They say every man has a fear, a shadow, something that haunts him when the lights go out. Alan Montoya, tú tienes uno también. You walk around like you're untouchable, like you've already written your legacy. But you made one mistake. You forgot about the sting. You can train harder, run faster, pray louder. It won't matter. Because when I step in that ring, I don't just fight. I consume. So, Alan Montoya, if you accept my challenge, you're not stepping into a match. You're stepping into a nightmare. And when the crowd goes silent, when your body won't move, when your spirit starts to break, that's when you'll understand. You were never the hunter. You were the prey. So as I say once again, TikTok Montoya. Because El Scorpion Fantasma. This thing is coming.
Strong words. Strong words from El Scorpion Fantasma, who is going to be making his debut on episode 2 of FLW. But first, we have to get through 2 brand new debuts. We have Spencer West, currently making his debut here in FLW. Spencer West as you can see right there, refers to himself as the Handsome Devil. He has done quite a lot in his career. You can mainly see him over in Empower, and you can see him on A Matter of Pride. Actually, coming up, he will be in a match at A Matter of Pride 4, spearheading a team against LGBTKO. And the crowd showing just what they think of Spencer West, the handsome devil. But his opponent here this evening, is none other than Mason Fatal, hailing from Scotland. And Mason taking his time. Here we are, Mason Fatal. Mason Fatal making his debut here in FLW alongside Spencer West, his opponent here this evening. And Mason Fatal, not well liked. Hear the crowd, not well liked with the crowd, and once again the pyro budget being used up. And again, you can just hear the jeers from the FLW universe. Fatal getting into the ring now. How much of the pyro budget did this man use? Now, as we get prepared for this match here, Spencer West, Mason Fatal here. And here we go, Mason Fatal automatically taking it, the two taking it to each other, trying to jockey for a position here. Neither can get an upper hand. And now the collar elbow tie up here, and Spencer driving Mason to the corner. And Mason going for a huge cutter there, but hitting nothing. Spencer West taking it to Mason Fatal here. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 3 more matches after this one. Up next will be Evie Mack versus Gav Ashton, both making their debut here in FLW. Following that, we have Carnage in action in our co-main event. And then following that, we have our main event with our world champion Zeke Salizer taking on Alexis Danvers. The match originally wasn't scheduled, but Alexis goaded her brother, or more tricked her brother into agreeing to the match. And Mason Fatal in the driver's seat against Spencer West here. And Spencer West getting tripped up by Mason Fatal here. And Mason on the offense here. Clothesline, Lariato. Lariato! And a huge springboard moonsault from Mason Fatal. 1, 2. Oh, that's just a 1. now. Now, Spencer West and Mason Fatal, I do not believe are strangers to each other. I do not believe they are. But Spencer West, I know, has had a lot on his plate recently. As Mason Fatal puts up his knees. And what Spencer looking for here, going for a sort of suplex, but Mason reversing it. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, these two competitors have until the count of 20 to get back into the ring before the match is called off. As Spencer West threw Mason Fatal into the corner post. And now, what's Mason looking for here? And the unbritter on the steps, might I add. That cannot bode well for Spencer West and his good looks. And a huge brain buster to the outside. And Mason up to the top rope now. And hits a cutter, but knocks out the ref in the process. And hits a huge, Spencer West hitting a huge springboard Pele kick. But the ref, right now it's free game because the ref's out. Knee to the back of the head. And the ref's back up. 1, 2, and Spencer kicks out at 2. And Spencer getting out of the way, super kicking Mason Fatal. And Spencer, what's he looking for here? Went for something. Mason had it scouted, but what's Mason thinking here? Mason going to the apron. Springboard dropkick to the back of Spencer West. Calling him to his feet. And a huge tilt-a-whirl DDT. And Mason Fatal went for something. Spencer West went for the clothesline, but Mason ducked under it. And now Mason Fatal hitting a German suplex and a half suplex. And another suplex. And now, what's Mason thinking here? Springboard coffin drop. Now just busting the knees of Spencer West on the mat here. And Spencer West pulling the match back into his favor. But he needs to keep on the offense or Mason will take advantage once again just like that. But Mason Fatal getting caught in the nose by Spencer West here. And a skull-crushing finale to Mason Fatal. 1, 2, and Mason Fatal kicks out at 2. Gotta wonder what Spencer West, what's going through his head. And Mason in Spencer's grasp. Spencer trying to figure out what to do with him. elbows to the head of Mason Fatal. And Mason Fatal throwing him into the turnbuckle, but automatically catching him into an F5. 1, 2, but Spencer West kicks out, and Mason Fatal gotta wonder what he's thinking with that huge springboard moonsault. 1, 2, oh, not even a 2, just a 1. And Mason Fatal just keeping on the gas pedal. Mason's got to be wondering what it's going to take to keep Spencer West down. And Spencer now Spencer back in the driver's seat here. Now Spencer going for the pin here. 2, no, not even a 2. Mason Fatal has a lot more left in the tank. Mason's controlled much of this match. And now Spencer taking back control, but Mason had this scouted, and a huge headbutt to Spencer West. Now Mason Fatal suplexing Spencer West back into the ring. Mason looking to end it here, but Spencer not allowing for that to happen. All right, and whatever would possibly a miscommunication there. But a huge move from Mason Fatal. 1, 2, and Spencer West kicks out. Again, Mason trying to take that turnbuckle off. Not like it's going to do much good. And Mason went for something, but it got hit with a DDT from Spencer West. An armbar from Spencer West, but taking Mason Fatal, getting his way out of there, and just suffering a flying clothesline from Spencer West. These two have gone non-stop. It seems like they know each other front and back. And a huge kick, running kick from Spencer West on the ropes. Went for that frog splash. What's Mason thinking here? Whatever it was, Spencer had it scouted. Mason had Spencer scouted as well. Went for the headbutt again. Went for the headbutt once again. And Mason Fatal keeps trying to go for that headbutt, but not getting it. Mason calling Spencer up to his feet. And Mason Fatal now in trouble. And a huge slam from Spencer West. Twisting moonsault. 1, 2. Mason kicks out at 2. Again, Mason's controlled much of this match. So if Spencer's going to fight his way back in, now's the chance to. And a huge cutter from Mason Fatal here. Mason Fatal one more time, calling him up to his feet. And going for that F5 once again. Going for the pin. Wait, Spencer's hand is under the ropes. Ref. Ladies and gentlemen, referee's decision is final, but so the winner is Mason Fatal. But Spencer's hand was under the ropes. Spencer West's hand was under the ropes. The referee should have caught that. It was a heavy match. Again, Mason controlled much of that match. But the referee should have called the rope break right then and there. We're about to see it right here. Mason goes for the F5 right here. And Spencer's hand is underneath the ropes. This is not going to go over well. And here you see Mason Fatal, the victor, and the crowd not too happy with that, not too pleased with that. And you can, I think Spencer's looking at, oh dear, this is not.
Hello, FLW! My name is Magnum Maxwell, but you should know that already. And now it's finally time to talk about what's next for me. Well, actually, what's first for me here in this company as I make my in-ring debut. It feels wonderful to finally have that opportunity to step in the ring here. But you gotta see, who should I face first? Who should be my first opponent or opponents? I could face somebody like G, who's trying to make their presence known in this company and in the wrestling industry in itself. I could run it back with Tommy Demise. I could face the pride of EFED herself, Gab Ashton, and make her remember to respect her elders. I could, punch the pretty boy Spencer West in the face and see he's more than a pretty face. Hopefully he is, but if he's not, I'm running circles around him, honestly. I could face Mason Fatal, but I'll be sucking hours of therapy afterwards. I could go against Mad Dog West or Mad Dog Samson. There's a lot of names I could step in with here first, but there's one person I want to face. There's one name I need to face in my debut in this company to prove to myself and people all over the world what I am capable of when you put me against the very best, and that will have to be Crazy Joe. If there's one person that I know deep down that would be able to push me and test me to see if I can be at that next level, it's Crazy Joe. And I'm not going to sit around here waiting for that opportunity. He signed under a contract. He is a part of the roster. So, Joe, I'm calling you out for the for the return show of FLW, Magnum Maxwell, the Maestro, the Bicon, against the by God Crazy Joe. And I want to make you remember that there was a Bicon before a by God, and make you realize that I'm one of the very best in this industry when you give me a chance. So what do you say, Joe? You want to give me a chance?
Strong words from Mike Magnum Maxwell, calling out Aaron. Strong words from Mike Magnum Maxwell, calling out Crazy Joe. And here we have our next contest. We have Evie Mack making her debut here in FLW this evening, taking on the pride of EFED, Gav Ashton. Ladies and gentlemen, we have this match and then our co-main event and our main event here this evening left to go. And ladies and gentlemen, these matches are set to be some of the... these should be the best matches of the night, ladies and gentlemen. The crowd showing Evie Mack some love here this evening. Gav Ashton, the pride of EFED, making her debut here this evening in FLW. Gav Ashton being showered with love from the FLW universe here this evening. Gav has been through quite a lot of hardships recently, but she has overcome and persevered. And apparently she and Alexis Danvers actually have the same hairdresser. The crowd showing their love for Gav Ashton. Again, the pride of EFED. And once again, everybody's just using up the pyro budget. Luckily, our budget did get upped since the last time we were on your screens. But here we have Evie Mack and Gav Ashton. Again, the pride of EFED. And here we go. And Gav Ashton already on the offensive here, ladies and gentlemen. And it looked like neither competitor got the good end of that. And Evie throwing Gav into the ropes, but nothing coming of it. And Gav, whatever she's doing it's doing something to Evie. That much I can say. Now, both jockeying for position. Evie going for the surprise roll-up. And kicking out, not even a 1. And these two women have differing movesets, differing styles. Because as quick and flashy as Gav Ashton is, being a former gymnast, Evie Mack, as you can see, is much more of a striker and technical wrestler. And neither woman can get the upper hand in that pin exchange. And Evie going up to the top rope here. And Evie now went for something, but Gav turned it into a power slam. And going for that cartwheel Alabama slam, Gav Ashton does. And Evie putting her knees up from that moonsault and hitting a huge knee. And Evie now with a huge suplex to Gav Ashton. And the final flash knee from Evie Mack, sending Gav into the corner. And Gav just a sitting duck, having to take that drop kick from Evie Mack here. And Evie now caught by Gav. Gav picking up Gav picking up Mack and hitting that Alabama slam once again. As athletic as Gav Ashton is, don't underestimate how strong she can be too. And a huge spine buster from Evie Mack. 1, 2, and Gav kicks out at 2. Ladies and gentlemen, we've had such an action-packed evening here. If you're just joining in, I will run down our results here. Megan Suzuki, in our first match back, was able to overcome Julia Santos in a very heavy back and forth match. And in our second match, the debuting Macy Rage was able to defeat the insane witch of FLW, Jessica Harper, in our second match of the evening. Following up, we have Jack Bradford defeating Alan Montoya in our third match of the evening, afterwards which Jack Bradford called out the FLW World Champion and put him on notice. Afterwards, we got Dakota Wheeler taking on the debuting Cassandra Blade. Now, while it was a very great matchup, unfortunately, Cassandra Blade, before the match, got attacked by Sylvia Calvert-Lewin. And unfortunately, as much fight as she put into the match, was unable to overcome the injuries sustained from Sylvia Calvert-Lewin, affording Dakota to take the victory. And in our most recent match, we had the debuting Spencer West taking on Mason Fatal, which ended in a bit of controversy as Spencer West unfortunately took the loss, but his hand was under the rope. And it was very clearly seen to us. Unfortunately, the referee's decision is final, and Mason Fatal walked away with the victory. And that leads us to this match right here. The debuting Evie Mack taking on the debuting Gav Ashton. And Gav Ashton just taking the fight and tactics to Evie Mack here. And a huge drop kick from Gav Ashton drops Evie Mack to the mat. And now Evie Mack fighting her way out of Gav Ashton's grip. And Evie Mack, what she's looking for here, getting that sidewalk slam driver, it looked like. And Evie went for something, but Gav had it scouted, pushing Evie to the corner and just hitting a forearm and hitting a split-legged moonsault from the top. That huge shotgun drop kick from Gav Ashton sends Evie flying. And the oblivion from Gav Ashton. Gav went for something. Evie with the final flash knee again. Evie Mack going for a submission here. And Evie now. This referee did see the rope break, so that pinfall did not count. And Evie just striking Gav Ashton. You do not want to get into a striking exchange with Evie Mack. And Evie trying to think of what she wants to do with Gav Ashton here, but she can't wait too long. And Gav, it looked like she was going for a drop kick. Gav in trouble now. Evie Mack on the top rope here. And a huge uppercut, diving uppercut from Evie Mack. But Gav Ashton hitting that driver, that pump handle driver. And Evie, again, reversing that drop kick into a stomp. And a huge knee to the face of Gav Ashton. And again, Evie using her dangerous striking combination. 1, 2, and Gav kicks out at 2. Again, you don't want to get into a striking exchange with Evie Mack. And a Pele kick from Gav Ashton, leaving both women twisted up. And Gav getting out from under Evie here. And Gav now picking up Evie. And Evie getting back into the ring. Or no, that's what I thought. Went for a dive there, but Gav having sidestepped it, and we're getting the devil's kiss here, ladies and gentlemen. Just as a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, in FLW we have a 20 count, not a 10 count. Now Gav Ashton doing that devil's kiss again. And doing it one more time. Gav Ashton not giving Evie a break. And it looks like she was trying to go for it one more time, but Evie not having it. And Evie now with that huge sidewalk slam driver once again. And Evie going back into the ring. And Evie waiting for Gav. Or, no, restarting the count. And now Evie just striking. And Evie looking for something here. But Gav Ashton having moved out of the way. And now both women back in the ring now. And Gav going to the top rope. And that huge 630 splash. 1, 2, and Evie kicks out. Gotta wonder what's going through Gav's mind. Went for that split-legged moonsault. 1, 2. Oh, not even a 2, just a 1. That seemed like a slow count, though. And Bronco Buster from Gav Ashton to Evie Mack. And Gav hitting that pump handle driver. And now Gav looking for that, went for that shotgun drop kick, but Evie had it scouted. Evie went for that striking again, but Gav not wanting to be a victim of that again. Gav now to the top rope. And that huge reverse 630 splash. 1, 2. And Evie kicks out at 2. At some point, you got to ask yourself what it's going to take to get either of these women to stay down. And Evie moving out of the way, calling Gav up to her feet here. And a huge spine buster. That's got to be it. 1, 2, 3. And Evie Mack wins this hard-hitting battle between herself and Gav Ashton. Both women put on an incredible match, but unfortunately for Gav Ashton, Evie Mack was the better woman here this evening. As we take a look at the replays, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We still have our co-main event and our main event coming up this evening. Gav had plenty opportunities to be able to win this, but Evie Mack just had too much in the tank. And here's where it all ended for Gav Ashton with that huge spine buster from Evie Mack. 1, 2, 3. Ladies and gentlemen, your victor here this evening is Evie Mack. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We still have our co-main event and main event coming up. So we still have our co-main event coming up. Carnage will be in action here this evening. But again, we don't know who his opponent is. Nobody knows. Not even him. And here he is, Carnage. The last time we saw Carnage in an FLW ring, he was unsuccessful in grabbing the FLW World Heavyweight Championship against our current champion, Zeke Salizer. It was a heavy-hitting, hard-fought battle. But Zeke had walked away with the victory that evening. Carnage is now looking to rectify that. He wants destruction. Right now, as far as I can tell, he's going it alone. The New World Killer in FLW by his lonesome, without Southern Discomfort by his side. And you can hear the crowd not having any of him. Not wanting to deal with the New World Killer, not wanting to deal with Carnage. Getting awfully close to the fire there, Carnage. And we're about to find out Carnage's opponent here this evening. Who will it be? Wait a second. Is this who I think it is? Yes, it is! Making his FLW debut here this evening, it is Crazy Joe, the owner of the Top 5 Federation. He is Carnage's opponent here this evening. Accepting this is such a big pickup for FLW. rallying behind him for this match against the New World Killer Carnage. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our co-main event of the evening. You got Carnage. You got Crazy Joe. Here we go. Crazy Joe having already taken down the straps. The two walking up. Ladies and gentlemen, I am getting word from the manager here at FLW that Mason Fatal and Spencer West will be going one-on-one again. After earlier tonight, we had a controversial finish to their match where Spencer West's hand was under the rope, but the rope break was not called. So on our next episode, it will be Spencer West versus Mason Fatal in a rematch, as Crazy Joe gives a suplex, not one, but two suplexes to Carnage. And went for that springboard swanton, but Carnage got his knees up. These two seem to know each other very well. And Carnage now in trouble with that Death Valley driver. Carnage hitting that shotgun dropkick on Crazy Joe. And deadlift pump handle suplex. And hitting a clothesline on Carnage. See, Crazy Joe gives a lot of weight and a lot of height to Carnage, but that doesn't mean he can't hold his own against the New World Killer here this evening, ladies and gentlemen. And ladies and gentlemen, if you are just now joining us, you have been... Thank you for joining us, but you have also missed a packed night full of action as Carnage hits that discus kick. 1, 2, and Crazy Joe kicks out at 2. But just to run down the results, Megan Suzuki in our opening contest of our returning show took down a very game Julia Santos. Following that up, we had Jessica Harper taking on the debuting Macy Rage alongside her girlfriend Alexis Danvers, where Macy Rage was able to get the victory over the Insane Witch of FLW, Jessica Harper. Following that, we had Jack Bradford debuting against Alan Montoya, where he picked up the victory against Montoya and had some words for our world champion. After that, we unfortunately had to see Sylvia Calvert-Lewin attack Cassandra Blade before her debut against Dakota Wheeler here tonight. And unfortunately, because of that, even though she was very game, Cassandra Blade was just just did not have enough in the tank to take down Dakota Wheeler. Following that up, we had Spencer West taking on Mason Fatal, both debuting here in FLW, but that ended in a controversial finish as Mason Fatal, he pinned Spencer West for the victory, but Spencer West's hand was under the rope, which is leading to a rematch next week, next episode. Not next week, next episode. And then following that up, we had a very, very heavy-hitting match between Evie Mack and Gab Ashton, where Evie Mack, with her striking power, was able to take down and ground Gab Ashton, the private ether. And ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We still have our main event to go, which is Zeke Salizer, our World Heavyweight Champion, taking on his little sister, Alexis Danvers, after Danvers kind of tricked him into agreeing to a match. And the 7-star Lariat from Carnage. 1, 2. And kick out at 2. Going for the pin again. No, come on. The ref saw that, but he didn't see Spencer's hand under the rope, of course. And now a back body drop from Carnage to Crazy Joe. And now huge body slam to Crazy Joe. And Carnage going up to the top rope. That's scary. That's scary. Big man on the top rope. Went for a drop kick, but he was too large. He overshot. He overshot Crazy Joe. And going for, what's he going for here? A knee to the gut, dropping him onto the knee of Carnage. Now Carnage going for the pin again. 1 and a kick out. And Carnage went for the body splash. CJ, Crazy Joe, got him on the ropes, literally, and dumps him out to the outside. And now Carnage is bleeding. Crazy Joe just opened up the New World Killer. And a tombstone pile driver from Crazy Joe. And Crazy Joe chucking Carnage back into the ring. And Crazy Joe not able to hold on to him. Huge suplex from Crazy Joe, followed by a back body drop. And a huge big boot again, that discus big boot. 1, 2, and Crazy Joe kicks out. A huge suplex from Crazy Joe. I wonder what Crazy Joe's thinking of here, trying to put Carnage away. And the huge clothesline going for the pin. All right, and Carnage in trouble here. And Crazy Joe into a big power bomb. Crazy Joe here, what's he looking for? A huge suplex. And just running a huge splash in the corner. And a huge knee to the head and clothesline from Carnage. And that huge kick to the side of the head. And Crazy Joe trying to get out from Carnage's clutches. And Crazy Joe, what's he looking for here? Whatever it was, Carnage had it scouted. And Crazy Joe hitting the unprettier. Going on top, up top. And now calling Carnage to his feet. And that straight jacket clothesline going for the pin again. 1, 2. And a kick out at 2. And now Carnage just dropping the elbow on the thigh of Crazy Joe here. Carnage wants to get this done and over with. And that huge discus forearm. Just knocking Crazy Joe senseless. And that huge, just tossing Crazy Joe like he's nothing. And that huge clothesline in the corner and a huge forearm wrecking Crazy Joe. 1, 2, 3. That does it. That secures the win for Carnage, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a hard-fought match. But at the end of the day, the New World Killer picks up the victory over Crazy Joe. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We still have our main event this evening. One more match to go, which is Zeke Salizer, our FLW World Heavyweight Champion, taking on Alexis Danvers. And with how close the two are, it should be a great match. Alright, and here you have your winner, Carnage. The crowd not too happy with that. Thank you for coming, Crazy Joe, and thank you for being here in FLW. Welcome to the roster. But congratulations, Carnage.
Hey, y'all smell that? I smell something new in the air. Fully loaded wrestling. Man, I'm gonna make this place fully loaded in more ways than one, man. Because on the next show, we're lighting it up, you know? Y'all know me. You know I couldn't puff and pass on this opportunity. Because next week, we will be hosting the first ever episode of The Blunt Rotation, where the smoke rises and the heat gets real. Now, for my guests, I had to roll something special. We have the one, Leo Maverick. Will Leo ride his high? Or will he go up and smoke? Because me, I don't burn out. So FLW, you better tune in. Because when the show starts rolling, ain't nobody putting it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, what an announcement from Deontay Wilde, the Smoke Show. Deontay Wilde, in 2 weeks, will be bringing the Blunt Rotation, where the smoke gets high and the heat gets real. I think I messed that up. But he will be bringing the Blunt Rotation to FLW on our next episode. And not only that, he is bringing his first guest as Leo Maverick. A lot of good things shaping up here on our next episode. But for now, we have our main event of the evening. Entering first, we have our world champion, Zeke Salizer, making his entrance here this evening. And now we have Alexis Danvers making her entrance here. Alexis Danvers getting the crowd hyped up. Alexis Danvers, the punk rock queen, as she likes to call herself. But also the adoptive little sister of Zeke Salizer and the adoptive big sister of Piper and Samantha Salizer. Alexis was able to trick her way into this match just by being a little sister to Zeke. These two know each other so well. So this ought to be a real good match. But remember, Jack Bradford is also watching. From what he said earlier, he is always going to be watching. And going for that springboard poison rana on Zeke Salizer is Alexis Danvers. The exchange that her and Zeke had at the beginning of the show just shows just how close the two are. That Danvers is willing to just poke fun at her brother just to get a match with him. And Danvers went for that springboard coffin drop, but that did not go anywhere. And now getting thrown into the ropes. Zeke, what's he thinking here? I think Zeke's trying to give Danvers a chance to back out of this match. The only issue with that is that throughout her entire career, Alexis Danvers has never quit. She has never tapped out. She has never submitted. She has never given up. And a huge power slam. A huge slam from Zeke Salizer. But Danvers showing that she's not going to let her brother have the final say. There is a 3-year difference between the two. Alexis is 25 and Zeke is 28. And Danvers rakes her nails across Zeke's back and again hits that springboard poison rana, and Zeke flattens her with a clothesline, and Alexis responds with a head scissor with Hurricanrana. And Danvers now what she's looking for, and just that knee to the side of the head. We're seeing just how well these two know each other. Again, they have trained for a while. I mean, when you grow up together, you tend to know the other moves, which is what it seemed to be when they were speaking earlier when we saw their exchange. Zeke already knew Danvers was up to something. They know all their tells. And Zeke just cranking the neck of Alexis Danvers here. And again, you gotta wonder what Jack Bradford's thinking. Because not only does he have a target for Zeke Salizer, the champion in this scenario, Jack Bradford's also declared war on LGBTKO, which Alexis Danvers is part of. So you've got to wonder what all is going through Jack Bradford's head as he watches this. And Danvers and Zeke going back and forth. Neither competitor can seem to actually get an upper hand. And Zeke calling up his little sister. And now the death drop from Alexis Danvers, and Danvers just taking a bow. She did say earlier that it would be a shame if he got shown up by his little sister with the insult to injury. And it's looking like she's trying to do just that. Like there's only room for one star in the family. In her defense, she is going on to 400. She has held her Supremacy Women's World Championship for over 400 days at this point, taking out the likes of Maya Lynx, Amber Young, Selena Adams, Ingrid Garcia, and Ava over in Supremacy Wrestling over in Europe. And she has her biggest match coming up yet for that title when she faces Amber Reed, which is coming up on May 9th. As Danvers in trouble here, and a huge Death Valley driver just dropping Danvers on her neck. 1, 2, and Danvers kicks out at 2. Danvers is not an easy person to keep down for a 3 count. That huge choke slam from Zeke Salizer. 1, 2. Kick out at 2 from Danvers. And Zeke now Danvers went for a Hurricanrana, but Zeke had it scouted with the power bomb. And Danvers now just slamming Zeke's head into the mat. Kind of almost as if she took offense to that power bomb. And Zeke taking the fight to his little sister, but Danvers shoving him off. Danvers is spending a lot of time taking bows, again, trying to outshine her big brother here. Danvers dumped out to the outside and answers with a Hurricanrana for Zeke's troubles. And Danvers, what's she thinking here? And Danvers once again doing those kicks and throwing Zeke into the steps. Again, she's trying to outshine her brother. Ref's at a count of 7. And Zeke now getting back into the ring. The size difference between the two is massive. But Danvers is holding her own. Before she got taken in by the Salizer family, as Danvers went for that Kamigoye, she grew up on the streets. So she knows how to fight people who are bigger than her. And Zeke looking for a powerbomb, but Danvers fighting out of it. And went for that spinning back elbow and misses, but finally taking the fight back to Zeke. And that huge ripcord kick, that ripcord kippo kick. And Danvers now went to a Meteora. Zeke calling her up here. Danvers in trouble here. Getting dropped on the ropes by Zeke Salizer. You can't help but wonder if Zeke might be holding back just a bit because Danvers is his little sister. But that would be a big mistake because Danvers, you don't want to underestimate Danvers. And chucking Danvers in the ropes, hitting a huge clothesline. But Danvers fighting back. Reverse Irish whip, ducks under the big boot, went for a flying clothesline. And Zeke trying to go for something, but Danvers elbows his face. And that spinning back fist finally gives Danvers control. Running to the corner. And a huge DDT. Going for the pin. 1, 2, and Danvers kicks out. No, Zeke kicks out of Danvers' pin at 2. A huge neck breaker from Zeke Salizer to Danvers. And a huge frog splash. Zeke, what's Zeke looking for here? And went for a knee drop, but Danvers got out of the way. And Danvers hitting that strike. And Danvers now, once again, in trouble. In that huge Death Valley driver once again. And that Salizer Claymore. Danvers is all too familiar with that. 1, 2, but Danvers kicks out. Danvers kicks out of the Salizer Claymore, a move she is all too familiar with, and hits a spear on Zeke Salizer. And Danvers now, huge springboard hurricanrana. And Danvers now hitting that 401k. Danvers asking herself what it's going to take to keep her brother down. And Danvers moving out of the way, now starting a strike exchange between herself and her brother here, and Zeke telling his sister, yeah, bring me what you got. And Danvers is doing just that. And Zeke is again, bring it. And firing back with one of his own, and Danvers is also telling him to bring it. And Danvers now, what's she looking for? Hitting that step over DDT. I think she calls it the misery DT. 1, 2, and a kick out at 2 from Zeke Salizer. And Danvers now hitting a drop kick, running to the ropes one more time, and hitting another drop kick to her big brother. And Zeke fighting his way back out. Danvers not letting him keep it that way for long. And that height, just the height that Zeke got on that slam. And that huge body splash and this power slam. The body slam right there. And Danvers trying to get her way back into this match. And Danvers struggling here, and just Zeke stomping on her arm. It looks like Danvers might be running out of steam here. And what's Zeke looking for here? Danvers dropping behind Zeke here. Stomping away on Zeke's back, slamming him into the mat. And Danvers now going for a moonsault, but Zeke got the knees up. And Danvers being taken down with that huge fist. And Danvers caught in the end of days. That's got to be it. 1, 2, and Danvers again kicking out. If you're Zeke Salizer, you gotta wonder what it's going to take to keep Danvers down. Danvers shoving him off, and that Kamigoye. 1, 2. All right, here we go. Looking for. Wait. That's Adam Rage. That's Adam Rage. What the fuck is Adam Rage doing here? What the hell? Oh my goodness. Adam Rage, what the hell are you doing? Come on, stop this. Why are you going after Danvers? What did she do to you? Oh man. And Zeke's not happy, but Adam Rage stopping him in his tracks. Oh man. I think we finally figured out why Adam is out here. He wants Zeke. Danvers was not his initial target. It's Zeke. He wants to face Zeke. Oh my goodness. Adam just taking down the champion. And Adam just dumping him out.